Hey, y'all. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Emotionally Unpacked. We are heading into a new week. We are unwinding from the week before. I had to, my last video, it was kind of like acting a little bit weird, so I had to kind of redo it. It was saying something about like the connection wasn't like the best, which that makes me upset. But so diving right into it, I wanted to talk today about with mindful dating and being aware of who you're talking to, having that open communication, especially while having kids. So it's definitely different when you have kids and you're trying to get back into the dating scene. Definitely, it's definitely different, especially when you might have, not really the best supportive system, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to trying to date while having kids. It's not always, you don't always hear, someone that has kids that the other parent is, in the kids' lives, but it's different trying to date while having kids and not really having the biggest support system. For me, I feel like when I had both my girls, I was able to kind of like do certain things if I wanted to, like especially like with dating. So I had that support system. Like I said, everybody don't really have that support system. Um, like even just like for me and my kid's dad, like he stays in another state. So it's different for me to be able to have that, what I'm saying, support system from him when I'm trying to, do other things. But it's important, whoever you are talking to or dating, that they're aware of, what's going on with you having your kids. So that communication has to be there. Sorry, y'all, my allergies is bothering me today. Um, it's been kicking my butt today, kicking my butt. But yeah, for me, if I've always been the type of person, like with me having my kids, I'm like, hey, if like maybe time got the best of me, I'm like, hey, my bad. I was like busy with my kids. I was doing this or that. I mean, you ain't got to explain everything, but you know what I'm saying? Just let people be aware of what's going on. What I'm saying? That's important. But the other person has to be able to recognize too, like, hey, like, I know you're busy or whatever. Let me like not, be upset or hound you or, whatever the case may be. But it's definitely different when you're dating somebody and they don't have kids. I tried it. It's definitely different. They have to be understanding of what you're going through as far as like being a parent. And sometimes time can, like I said, time can just get the best of you sometimes. So it's like they have to be able to kind of see it from your standpoint. I mean, I even have friends that don't have kids. They don't have kids at all. So sometimes they don't kind of, understand the struggle. So it's literally the same as dating. So some people that do have kids prefer to only talk to other people that have kids. And like I said, it's just easier because they understand the dynamic of what we are going through day to day, especially trying to work, trying to balance our own lives, trying to balance with them, trying to make time for yourself. Like it be a lot sometimes when you're trying to do that. It could be overwhelming, so that other person has to be understanding of what you're going through. But if, like I said, if that communication is not there, it's just kind of like, what's the point? What's the point? That's a red flag for me. If you can't communicate with me properly, knowing that I do have kids or you have kids, it's just a simple call, a simple text, a simple anything would just, you know what I'm saying, alert and let that person know. So I think sometimes too, women just need to be aware of just having certain conversations or just noticing those red flags when you're talking to people. I feel like sometimes with us, we kind of we see the red flags, but is it really red? It might be a little orange. We have to be able. I don't know because I don't know. I don't even really want to say red flags because when you're getting to know somebody, y'all coming from two different worlds, two different understandings of, like I said, communication. Sorry, y'all, I'm gonna sneeze. So some things that I might be used to might be different from what they're used to. So we have to be able to find that, you know what I'm saying, that common ground. But some things you can't ignore. Can't ignore. Excuse me, y'all, because of what my nose is really pissing me off today. But also, you don't want it to be to where you end up losing out on really being able to thank you, bless you, thank you. But also at the same time, you don't want to be able to lose out on something good because of that disconnect. Because once again, like I say, coming from two different worlds, like I said, whether it's somebody, like I said, that has kids or, they don't have kids. But yeah, like I said, just being aware of a lot of different things. Um, like I said, okay, so I did talk to someone before that did not have kids. And baby, when I tell you it's just different here with people that don't have kids, I be like, okay, you got a lot of time on your hands. You have a lot of time on your hands because I be like, baby, I'm not jealous of you at all. It's just dang, like I'm not used to this because I'm always on the go. I'm always got something going on. I'm trying to make sure my kids are good. I'm trying to make sure myself good. Like I said, the house. I'm thinking about all these different things. People without no kids, they're trying to, focus on you, or they don't have as much, what I'm saying, going on. So it's different in that aspect. Like I said, when you got somebody that does have kids, you know, they are definitely a little bit more understanding when it comes to that. But you can't, I feel like if you do have kids and you're trying to date, or women, just in general that are trying to date, like I said, just be more mindful of who you are talking to. Be mindful. You gotta ask those hard questions. You gotta ask questions as far as like what that person is expecting, you know what I'm saying? And not being out here trying to search for love, you know, excuse me. Um, Not being out here trying to search for love. And I say that because, of course, if you're a parent and you got your kids, you like, of course you want to be able to have that family, you want to be able to build that family, but don't be in a rush to be trying to find that. Don't go searching for love. Let it, what I'm saying, let it find you. You got to let it find you. You don't want to be that person where, of course, you're a woman, you got kids. Sometimes people take advantage of that. Sometimes people take advantage of that shit. They be like, oh, dang, like she a parent. Like, oh, maybe she might be gullible, or, so I've seen a group chat, and it's crazy too because I said to one of my friends, I seen this group chat, and it was men, thousands of men targeting single women that were parents. Like I just thought that that was crazy. Like I just thought it was wild just to hear something like that even, happening. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's important that we're mindful about who we're talking to, who we're speaking to, even before us trying to introduce them to our kids. Like you got to be really cautious about that. I'm really cautious about that when it comes to my kids. And even besides my relationship with whoever, that I talk to, and then me trying to introduce them to my kids, you have to see that your kids can be affected from that. Definitely affected from that. I know some people that don't even introduce their kids to nobody they that they're talking to. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's different if you really see a future with whatever that person is. Like y'all talked about it, y'all are like, hey, this is what I want, this is where I want to see us moving forward to. And then if that's the case and you feel comfortable with bringing your kids around, then hey, everybody gonna do what they want to do, when it comes to that. But just be mindful about about your kids and their feelings. It's definitely gonna be a lot for them to be from you bringing somebody else into the picture, and especially um if it's not the other parent, you know. So us as women, we have to be aware of that when it comes to dating, period. I feel like nowadays when it comes to men, not romantic anymore. I don't see a lot of men as romantic. Men being men, I guess you could say that. Men being men. I met this one guy and he was telling me about how he would need a woman to, not even that, like, how people say, like, you have to teach people how to love you. You know what I'm saying? Like Music Soul Child, teach me how to love, teach me how to love. Yes, you do need to be able to teach someone how you want to be loved, but it's common sense as far as for, I don't know, I can't say it's common sense because apparently they don't think it's common sense, but just showing us that you want us, pretty much, just showing that. And especially with having kids, you know, being aware of that, being aware of that at all. But that we have to be able to keep up with expectations when it comes to dating. You definitely have to have expectations. Now, am I gonna say high expectations? No, you don't have to have like super duper high expectations, but you should have expectations when it comes to dating. Period, point blank. You gotta have expectations because if you don't, then when you're talking to certain people, they're gonna be like, "Oh, okay, well, she she don't care I'm not doing this, or she don't care I'm not doing that." Definitely. So that's just something I just wanted to touch base with you know just dating. Dating is what somebody say. They think the dating pool got piss in it. Because baby, I know it's tough being able to talk and be able to communicate. You talk to different people, you going on dates, or you trying to, you having to keep starting back over and talking about, oh, what's your favorite color? Your favorite color red, your favorite color blue. Like just having to restart that interaction over and over and over with people. Sometimes it can get draining. And like I said, too, being able to find that balance while having kids, trying to make time for yourself, make time for your kids, and making time for dating too. It can be a lot. It definitely can be a lot, but you got to be aware. You got to be aware of who you're actually talking to give yourself time to be able to really get to know them. Because some people just be rushing into stuff. It's nothing wrong with having that feeling of wanting to be in love. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel like that's what we were made for. Beginning of the Bible, Adam and Eve, men and women. It's about us being able to be able to come together. That's what's important. But don't rush it. Some people just be looking for like a safe place, just because they don't want to be alone. It's okay to be alone. As a woman, I've had times where I've been by myself and I'm like, it's okay. It is okay to be by yourself sometimes. I'd rather be by myself, regroup before I even jump back into dating anybody. That's that's important to be able to take time for yourself, love yourself, figure out what you really want when it comes to relationships. You have to when it comes to that. You don't want to just be out here just dating any old body. You gotta I'd rather take that time, be by myself, regroup, try to think about what I really want and try to get myself back out there on the dating scene. So yeah, mindful dating. Ladies, be mindful when you are dating. Don't be trying to just be out here looking for love in all the wrong places. Do not do that because these men, yeah, you don't want to catch yourself being caught up in your feelings about someone that don't even care about you or don't even care about you having kids, for sure. Definitely for sure. But that's it for today. I know this was kind of like a little bit shorter of an episode, but like I said, I just wanted people to just, women in general, think about what you really want and what your expectations are before you decide to go out into the dating world, especially with you having kids. Also, having that communication with your kids too. Let your kids know, like, hey, you know, I just want to let you know I'm going here, there, talking to who, of course, you ain't got to tell your kids everything, but let them be aware that you are out there and that you are trying to, what I'm saying, date and talk to other people. It can be hard sometimes having kids and trying to date, but if that's something that you really want, you got to make time for it. But also don't forget to make time for yourself. You got to emotionally unpack. You have to emotionally unpack for sure. But I appreciate y'all tuning in with me today. Um, be back again, same thing for Sundays. I appreciate y'all listening. Appreciate you guys being able to support me um, with me doing this podcast. Again, if it's someone out there that wants to be able to chime in and communicate with me on the podcast, any woman out there that want to be able to emotionally unpack with me, that this is that safe place for that. Anybody that want to support, send stars, anything, that would be truly grateful. I want to continue this. I want to just continue this. Um, it's important for us to emotionally unpack those feelings that we have. And that week, 1 week alone, it could be a lot going on as far as emotionally. So we could chime in together, chit chat, and unpack together. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Stay tuned for the next episode.